stable Trundle, might be top lane support, even
Yes.
jungle, and Infused will pick up the Maokai and the Kindred. Everyone's picking up these priority picks for this patch and meta.
And of course, guys, if you know, PO2 is the team for Our Lady of Fatima University. They were the champions for the LCL, the LOL Collegiate League, and they secured a spot to try and secure another spot into
another
the
number one
PGS.
spot.
So they're here right now in the promotionals, trying to see if they can nab that spot away from Infuse. And of course, Infuse, on the other hand, will be defending their place in the next split.
Everyone is hungry for wins.
Yes, of
and of
course.
anyone would be hungry for wins.
Well, it is Road to Worlds, you
Yes,
know. I
road-
mean, if it
road to
were me,
Worlds.
I'd be like trying to pull everyone
just
down.
try
I
it.
want
Oh,
to get
man.
to Worlds.
Natatandaan ko I remember that video of casting you. Uwi na sila.
No,
Ayaw na nila maglaro.
Don't, just don't.
Yeah. Let's
Let's
just
not talk about
Let's
that.
not.
Anywho,
Okay.
so we have the Maokai and the Kindred, both strong picks so far, and then the Nautilus and the Lucian as well.
Very, very strong. Everyone's picking these super strong picks as
Meta
compared
picks.
to the
So
last,
nice.
the last best of 3, where everyone focused on their pocket picks. I think
Not everyone. It
well,
was Empire
almost
X
everyone. Yes. You had also weird stuff like Jana
coming out from
and
that was
Twitch.
from Empire
Those were
X.
strange. Well, yes.
But
those
just
were
the
strange.
casuals was like relatively strong
Well,
meta picks.
Yes, but I believe these guys picking the meta picks shows a huge amount of adaptability.
Yes.
And you're not just sticking to what you know, and you're just trying to learn things. Even if you're not comfortable with them, as opposed to just spamming Twitch and Jana. Of course, it did.
Yes,
work with
well,
our
it
previous
is something that is solid for their team. It is a composition that they are confident in, and they did pull it off. So, you know, I guess
Props.
depending on the matchup, the meta might not always be the best course of action. But of course, when they do go with it, it makes for very interesting fights. So here we have now Alistar and Corky, and Olfu will lock in the Elise and the Azir. So
I think the Elise
Yes,
pick for the
Elise
jungle,
jungle.
is very good. They already have the front line in the Nautilus and the Trundle, which of course they still don't know whether they're supports or top. Of course, they're going to be
Yeah,
top
you
lane and
can-
support,
you
but
can
you don't know which
flexi.
one is which.
Exactly,
It's very
exactly.
flexible, which is what you want in this patch. As for the final pick, it will.
the mind games will, of course, give you a bit of an advantage, an edge.
Sivir works quite better against Nautilus than Trundle, of course, but this does reveal that the Corki will be mid lane rather than bot lane
Yes.
if the Sivir does get locked in.
Yes.
Oh, the daring
well,
Ari.
it will not be. All right. It looks like it was a bait. So the Corky will indeed be the ADC instead, and we have the Ari pick for the mid lane.
That will
for
be very
ZXP.
strong. Lots of magic damage coming from Team Infuse here, but they might lack a lot of focused physical damage except from the Kindred, so that might be a problem in the later game. But with this composition, they want to close it out mid-game with the Corki and the Kindred and the Ari. Get those picks and those sieges going on.
Yes.
And I was saying earlier, but I really like the Elise pick, mostly because I like bugs.
Oh, all right. All right,
Just throwing
guys.
that
So
out
the
there.
the first fun fact you have about
I like
Atlas
bugs.
here is he likes bugs.
Yeah, really want to see.
Very interesting.
Yeah, really want to see
You know,
Kha'Zix.
really makes the audience love you out of the bat, you know?
Ah, this guy likes bugs. Ugh.
I said love you, not be disgusted. But
Okay, fine.
yeah,
Okay,
I guess.
this guy
All right,
loves
fine.
bugs,
Just
yeah.
reveal the
Whatever.
sarcasm. But anyway, so we're looking at. Although yes, you did mention that it's going to Infuse is going to ride on getting picks off of Potu to be able to scale well in the
And those
mid
really
game.
good dives with the Alistar and the Maokai.
Yes, although if you do look at the picks coming in from Potu, I don't think it would be that easy to get picks right off the bat, especially
pillar
you
in the
know
wall and everything.
Lucian isn't easy to lock down. You have the Trundle there as well as the Azir with the ultimate to push you back, push you away.
And Infused a kill going for the Ignite instead of the Exhaust on the support role.
Very
Just
aggressive,
very aggressive.
isn't it? Very,
Yeah,
very
just
aggressive.
pushing the aggressive one to end this in the mid-game nature of their composition right now. But what do you think of the both compositions overall?
Well, I mean, it's very precarious for Infused because, as you said, they are banking on getting those picks, those really nice team fights with the Maokai there, and of course the Alistar with the both of them with the engage. But at the same time, if they don't make it work, then towards late game they might fall off. Whereas Potu, on the other hand, they're not so bad either in the early game or mid game. So it remains to be seen, especially if they don't manage to really get a secure lockdown or a pick on anyone. So I'm a bit concerned for Infused.
I would be concerned for Infused too. Their team composition has a lot of value in the early and mid game, but they lose a lot of tempo compared to Profilers of the Unknown. They have tempo throughout the game.
Yeah, I feel like they would make for better team fights based on their composition alone. You have, of course, the Trundle with all that CC. You have the Elise Cocoons. You have the hooks coming in from the Nautilus, and of course, all of that pain from afar coming from Azir and Lucian.
And Elise is
Man.
not a slacker in terms of damage as well.
Yeah,
The percent
exactly.
health damage.
And she's also quite tanky,
so
so
strong. She can build tanky, yes,
exactly.
but still deal damage.
And still deal damage. So I'm
Such a
not so
versatile
sure
champion.
how these fights would play out. I mean, how Infused, it's going to be interesting seeing how Infused will deal with it though, because they are the more experienced team so far in terms of the professional league. I mean, they've been here even in the previous season, so hopefully their experience as a team and as individual players shine in terms of the team fights. But you know, you never know. This is the LoL Collegiate League champions,
Yeah,
Potu.
very strong. They're not something you want to
yeah,
underestimate.
they're not some run-of-the-mill team either. They have been tempered through the whole tournament of the LCL. So that is, it's two solid teams, I would say.
Of course,
Very would be a pleasure to watch.
This all will come down to how Infused executes their team composition. It is a pick comp, a comp you want to end, I keep saying this, in the mid-game. And that kind of composition, you have a time limit.
Yes,
You really
exactly.
need to execute that very well. The rotations, the calls in the early game have to be perfect, if not good. Good, if not perfect. Can't mix around.
Perfect, if not good.
Oh, man.
All right.
Oh, cannot English.
Okay, yeah, exactly. But they do have some room to beat because, I mean, as far as Potu is concerned, I mean, if Infuse does manage to pull off their composition, Potu can still come back. This isn't as the same as earlier in the earlier patches where the death timers were still very punishing.
Yeah, early in
so
season 6, that was
yes,
busted.
so like if you have a strong composition for mid game, it's the game's basically yours. Like you can just end
Average
it.
game times in solo queue were like 20 minutes.
Exactly,
Pro
exactly.
game, not much longer, 25. That's so,
So
short.
even
That's
if
what she said.
Infuse does manage to get the advantage in the mid game, if they can't secure the win as cleanly or like make the most out of every advantage they get, I don't think they can close it at the optimal time
yeah.
for their team composition. Like Potu still has every chance to get back in the game.
Yeah, they do have so much control at every phase of the game, and that's tempo.
Yeah.
Having that.
And that's scary.
Yeah, that's scary. Very, very scary.
Because one wrong team fight, and it could easily go into their hands. So
Infuse really wants to do this ninja style, like
Yes.
one strike, one kill, and then move in for the priority targets.
yes,
And right now, we
and
are.
we have the all exciting pause.
Yes, the. It will resume in 4 seconds. 3, 2, 1, and we are loaded
So all
onto the
right,
red, finally.
ladies and gentlemen, we are now in the Summoner's Rift and onto the teams and the compositions. Of course, we have from Potu, Hans on the Nautilus top, Torchic on the Elise jungle, Jobim on the Azir, Emperor on the Lucian ADC, and Wura on a Trundle support.
As for Infuse, for the top lane, we have Gertrude, such a nice name, on Maokai. Hachido
Alright.
on the Kindred jungle. ZXC on that, alluring Ari. JRM for that Corki, and Akil for that big cow in the bot lane, Alistar.
So
Aggressive
allow
ignite
me to
too.
just comment, but like, why do you like the name Gertrude?
It's a cute name, okay, Gertrude.
Really? It's cute?
Yeah, it reminds me of something European.
You and your weird taste. But anyway,
Oh, come
look,
on.
the VLC player, as Manjin would put it, has been brought out here.
Yeah, that's a good
and
one.
your favorite
VLC.
Gertrude is just going to
You're
walk
never gonna let
away.
me live this down, are you?
Yeah. You know, Gertrude sounds more like a librarianish name.
Yeah, like an old. Oh man, I just called an old lady cute somewhere. Oh, not like this. But yeah, you can see in the minimap, Gertrude will lay down some saplings for ZXC to get that level 2 advantage, level 2 power spike against that Azir.
Mm-hmm.
But so far, standard starts. No one going for the lines of scrimmage
Well,
or
you-
any invades.
You do have the lane swap.
Oh, yeah, yes.
Yes, the lane swap coming in from Infused, and it looks like they will invade the Po2 jungle
Waiting.
for them to
Pick.
move up to blue. Or probably not. They peeked in. All right.
A kill might just be there for disruption, but it seems like Fotu will not be falling for it. They go straight for their red side jungle. And
Yes.
JRM and a kill just in.
Well, because
They're
they
not gonna
did
come.
have a ward on that blue buff.
Yes, yes.
So they already know that JRM and Akil will be late going to their lanes. So that actually puts them at the back foot compared to Torchic and
I like that.
Hans. All right. Okay.
Oh, wow. Okay. But I think this early game will hinge on the junglers and how they apply pressure. I believe it's always about the junglers in these early game matchups. The Elise can put out a lot of pressure because of her CC and her damage with that Thunderlord's Decree as well. And Kindred can have that gank. She does have that slow and a lot of damage. But Elise is a lot more reliable in the pressure she can put out.
Although Kindred is more favored currently in the meta compared to Elise, she has fallen off quite a bit. Although, of course, her Cocoon is still very reliable in terms of initiating team fights, and given the right composition and the timing, you can use her very well for turret dives.
I'm gonna predict that Hachizo will actually go for the warrior instead of the Devourer. Since in this, they want to end this in the mid game, and Devourer is a slow item.
Yes, it
and
takes
warrior,
a while to ramp up.
Warrior gives you a lot of upfront value for a little bit of loss in the
Are you sure
late
this isn't
game.
just because you cringed at the
The Devourer
Devourer
earlier?
pick earlier? Well, they
Yeah,
did win
it
the
was-
game.
Yeah, they
you
did
know?
win the game, but it was so slow, and
The
they didn't
resources
get
did go to him,
yeah,
so
they didn't get punished by the other team, MC.
see the poke, the beautiful, or the beauty of the Azir pick shining right now in the mid lane matchup. Ari, yes.
And that exhaust is very good against Ari. She dives in, you exhaust her.
Yeah.
Her burst is nothing anymore.
Yeah, so it's actually an interesting to pick that up compared to the usual cleanse. Usually
Cleanse,
mid laners would
yes.
pick up cleanse against an
Or
Ari.
Even barrier sometimes.
Yeah.
But cleanse, of course, for the charm. And the early dragon does go to Profilers of the Unknown. 4 minutes. Very, very quick dragon. Very decisive. No fear that they would get
Yeah.
collapsed on. There's no vision there. But back to the laning phase. Crit advantage. None for both teams. Both have 1 turret down. And they want to chill after that decisive
Yeah.
dragon play.
Well, it looks like chilling will not last for long because right now Hans has landed that hook onto Gertrude, and your sweet, sweet Gertrude has now taken a VLC media player to his face.
We're gonna call it that for the rest of the
that-
game.
I don't know.
Because it's not an
Fine,
ice pillar
a traffic
anymore.
cone there.
VLC media player.
That does force a flash out of Gertrude. So that is one summoner spell down for him.
That's the
And
power of
now-
that VLC meter player. It can force a lot of flashes.
Uh-huh.
Just for that like 10-second cooldown, that's huge.
Oh no, but here after a Rift Herald attempt, we're all going really low and First Blood heading on to Hechizo. So the Kindred is now hot on the heels along with his Akil. What Gertrude coming in from behind here goes right smack in the middle of 3 people. Torchic does repel and try to evade, but Charm will land coming in from ZXC on the side, gets the kill. Now Emperor running and getting really low, trying to, you know, free hit from the side, but wow, all of that damage coming in from Azir does get Emperor a kill off of Hechizo, and now even Gertrude is gonna join the pile of dead bodies in favor of Potu.
Wow, that was such a good rotation. However, what happened there was they knew that the turret was... No, the turret was...
No, it's still up.
there.
Yes. So actually
Damn it.
the lane swap was
The lane swap
executed as
was
well.
executed. That
So
fight
quite very, very risky and aggressive play by Infused. I mean, Gertrude did come in with a good... no, that
Oh,
turret
that-
was
the
down.
turret
It was
was
the
down.
Azir turret. Sorry,
Azir
our
turret that
mistake.
really
But here we
turned
go
around.
once again, and we're raw. Hello, hello, coming in. I'll just hit you
Hello,
with my...
goodbye.
Yes.
They want this wave instead. I think JRM could have 1v2'd that since Hura was level 2 and Torchic is level 4.
I
think-
know, that massive gap right there. Just because he's been running around the map with...
With the VLC media player
Yeah.
gangs. Oh,
All right,
man.
but yes, anyway, earlier, so it was a good flank by Gertrude, but, you know, Azir with a turret, and they didn't lack in damage
So the lane,
as well, so it was just going to be an equal trade.
with both tier 1 turrets for the top and bot lane gone, the lanes shall normalize. Emperor will return to the bot lane where he belongs.
Shall normalize. I
Oh.
decree it.
It is the law. After that the turrets go down, you must go back to your bot lane. But how did
You know, it's ironic how it's Lucian that's called Emperor and not the Azir.
Oh yeah, but
Right?
instead the Azir's summer name is Jobim Cute. Azir is very cute.
Oh no, here. How are you getting pushed back in the lane by those sand soldiers? Yeah, I never like laning against Azir.
Yeah, Azir is so annoying. He safely attack you with his
Oh.
soldiers, and this leaves you open for either a dive or you have to go back.
Yeah, I mean, despite the slight movement speed whenever she uses her Orb of Deception, it won't be enough to put distance between you and the Azir.
And Ari has 1 kill at 8 minutes. That's pretty good, but I don't think it's enough to scale hard against this Azir.
Well, it was because of that beautiful flank
Top lane. Yeah, flank
during that
earlier.
that fight in the top lane. She was able to land the charm on that very low Elise, I believe. Yeah, it was the Elise.
But yeah, she's gonna need more than that to really be the big assassination threat. And she gets her blue buff
Yes.
stolen away from her. Well, ZXC is a dude. It was from him. ZXC gets his blue buff stolen away from him. Man, the gender dissonance between the summoner and the champion is real.
Wow. Okay,
And
so red team does get Rift Herald infused, uncontested at that,
Earlier,
because their jungler is here in the bot lane.
earlier, Podu made a misplay and getting greedy and trying to get that Rift Herald. When Rift
Yes.
Herald deals a lot of damage, you really need to make sure it cannot be contested before you do it. Because if you get caught
Yeah,
with your
that's
pants
true.
down in Rift Herald,
Alright.
you're
Nice metaphor.
What? It's a proper
Alright.
metaphor.
I know it is, but you know, okay, here comes the teleport though, coming in from Hans onto that blue buff, but it looks like Akil will not be able to run away in time. He gets taken out by the Emperor, who is actually a Lucian.
Not the Azir.
Not the Azir,
Yeah.
guys. Let's not confuse
Akil was
ourselves.
in a very dangerous spot there since he was not level 6 yet. And thus, if he was level 6, he could have gotten out easy.
Easy peasy,
Easy
lemon
peasy.
squeezy, and the hook lands onto JRM, but it looks like he will be able to fly out of that. And instead, Potu will settle for this,
Second tier turret.
yes, second tier turret
And
in the
Maokai
bot
the
lane.
top lane. Gertrude cannot trade for this, I believe.
Yes, I don't think he's
Maokai
low
really destroys
enough.
her. It's slow.
But now Hechizo caught in a bad position. And now Jobim,
Wants to
the
fight.
other Emperor, wants to fight this. Ultimate gets used to push him away. And now exhausted as well. The VLC media player will be able to stop Hechizo in his tracks from chasing Jobim.
That was quite dangerous.
And
for-
the
oh,
danger just keeps coming in because, man, that Alistar was able to lock down Emperor for a kill that goes to Hechizo.
Emperor falls down. N2 Groot gets stabbed in the back. And this gives
Yeah.
Dragon control onto Infused. That was quite greedy earlier for Jobim to try and...
And that's true. It was a greedy play, but at the same time, they kind of just lingered in their jungle.
yeah, that's not something you want to do. And Jobim could have played that fight a lot better. He could have just kept auto-attacking with the soldiers and saved the wall, the
Emperor's Divide.
the Emperor's Divide when the Kindred uses the Lamb's Respite.
Exactly. Push
And
her
that
out
would push her out of the circle and allow you to freely kill her, while you yourself are immune to death.
Yes.
You will be able to... they will defend this middle tower
Beautiful
successfully.
warding though from Infuse. They have
a lot of
quite
red.
the deep wards into the red side of Potu.
Vision wins games, guys.
Yeah.
Because when
Yeah,
you
yo.
know where your opponent is,
Yep,
you know
yep,
where
your
they're gonna
hand.
go, so you know where not to go,
Yes.
and that gives you a lot of tempo in these games.
And as you would know in strategy, of course, when it comes to war, surprise
Information.
attacks are always, always, always best.
Information is crucial in strategy games and strategy in real life as well.
Yeah. Kung si Asurai pa kanina, he mistook Sun Tzu for Sun Tzu. It's actually Sun Tzu in the Art of
Sun Tzu.
War.
Yeah, that's the
So,
opinion. The
yeah,
Chinese
if you read,
spelling.
if you guys are geeks and you read the Art of War, you can actually apply it into League of Legends. It's very useful. You can use it in a lot of aspects in your life.
I think my favorite has to be appear weak when you're strong, and appear
Yes,
strong when you're
you're
weak, because
weak.
that really messes with the minds of your opponent.
And then you don't, you bring the fight to you, not
Yeah,
to.
you bring. It's better to be on the defending side of a siege if you know what to do.
Oh, but looks like a duel will commence here in the bot lane. Oh, not really. JRM going to try and heal up.
But if ever a fight did break out, a kill would be there for the assist. I don't
Yes.
think Wura would be
For
there
a
fast
kill.
enough.
A kill
Oh my
would
God.
be a kill would be there.
A kill
for
would
a
be
kill.
there to assist with a kill. Oh my God, dude, that's busted.
Oh my gosh. These
These puns. dude.
summoner names are so interesting.
Yeah, Gertrude.
Wonder what they should release an article or whatever interview.
Yeah,
Just
like, where
interview
did
the
your
pro players.
summoner name
So what's
come from?
what's the story behind your summoner name?
Yeah, bakit cutie si Jobim?
Sino ba talaga?
Sino si
Bakit
Jobim?
mura?
Oo nga, bakit hindi Waro?
Is that your battle cry? Like you go in a
Wara!
fight and you just go Wara! VLC media player.
Si Micho Play. Oh man. So, yeah, they shall return to a calm
They shall
game.
return.
They shall return to a very calm game. This
A lot of wards on the map. This is making me happy because both teams seem to be
putting importance in
yes,
vision.
they are
and
not being careless at all.
high level
right
play
now.
like this. You really want that in the local scene.
Oh.
Even warding is something that a lot of teams, even at pro levels, forget.
Yes, actually, that is true.
Just put in your name, Jubin Cutie.
What?
Yung names aren't named. It's like we have to interview that guy. Saan ang galing yung Jubin Cutie?
Oh, ikaw, saan ang galing yung square pogi?
Dude, hindi naman ako yung nagbigay nun eh. That-
You
that
can't
wasn't me.
just diss them and
Oh,
forget that
no.
you have an equally embarrassing alias.
Not like this.
Okay, so again, the typical LCSD ward. Woo!
Woo!
Good
Vision game,
job!
clap,
Yeah!
clap. Well, playing the vision game is something to be applauded for.
Yes. So nothing much happening so far. We had some fights earlier, but now
Everyone wants
both
to farm.
both teams are taking a back seat, and it is just going to be 3 and 3 so far.
The value that both teams have, the gold is pretty much equal. However, Profiles of the Unknown does have a lot more map control because of the 2 towers they have destroyed and a single dragon. Well, both teams have 1 dragon. So that's probably going to close out like 5 dragon win condition. Because you really want to play that dragon game perfectly if you're going for those double stats.
Tapos eventually, aabot sila ng Mordor dahil may 2 towers. Yeah, I actually waited for you to finish that whole sentence that you had, so just so that I could insert the
Geek
reference.
references.
Anyway, Rift Herald goes to Infuse
And how will they use this? They give it
once
to
again,
Hachizo.
right? They got this is
Yeah,
their
they get it.
second Rift Herald so
They
far.
give it to Hachizo.
So they're really making the most of their mid-game scaling here. Early and mid-game scaling. They're not at all giving the enemy team a chance to breathe.
But of course,
And they're managing to keep their bottom lane,
farmed and safe.
yeah, farmed and safe so far. Of course, it's not at all in danger of, you know, taking over.
Infused can't get complacent with this equal gold they have. However, they have a small lead, but it's very inconsequential because they are the ones with a time limit.
Yeah, exactly.
Hotu can just wait and
just
scale up with how
chill.
much damage they have.
You know, we don't need your objectives right now. We can just keep
can
up
just
with the
chill, dude.
gold farm.
Play it slow.
And then later on, when team fights break out, we are going to show you that we're better. I don't know.
You're
I got
speaking for
nothing
them.
else.
You're
I
speaking
don't
for
know. Probably. But they'd be like, oh, sige, kaya natin to.
Nice. Sige. Pauwi natin sila.
Late game, guys. May late game tayo.
You know, people in solo queue always say that when they're losing. It's like, oh, we have the late game. Well, come on, guys. We have the late game. But
It's better than going all surrender na, you know.
surrender na,
You need
guys.
something to hold on to, a little bit of hope when
Even though it's
when
an
you're
illusion.
in darkness.
even though it's an illusion, you have to hold on to it.
That could work. Well, in this case, they are going to have the late game advantage
Dragon is live.
by just virtue of their picks. But you know, it still depends on how well they execute their composition. As we noticed in the earlier matchups today, the first matchup today actually, Majestic Casual's not really bringing out the best that their composition
Actually,
could.
both teams.
Well, both teams.
They weren't punishing as much as they should have.
Yes, Acclaim Empire X was strong, but I
It
guess
was 2-0.
yes, it was a 2-0,
But the level of play was
there were a lot of mistakes. There were a
Yes.
lot of mistakes.
This dragon, though, they're paying for it, but no one really wants to go near it. They
Poor dragon. Oh, but it looks like they are gonna go near JRM instead. Emperor does pop, culling right there. JRM gonna escape, and now here stuck in the river is Torchic. He does repel to safety, but now Wara is gonna take the brunt of the damage. It's 4 people against 3 here with Infused on the disadvantage, and now DXC coming in from the side as well as JRM with the backup damage, and now Akil is gonna be killed, and as well as DXC joins him in death. But now Hechizo on the side of the wall will be able to be reached by Jobin. Gets the kill. 4 people have died, including JRM now, with 3 kills, I believe, going to Emperor
0
himself.
deaths.
Yes.
To it. All of them are low.
Very, very low.
That doesn't matter.
That is, we get 4 kills
and a
dragon.
That's a lot
Wow.
of value. But
So actually, yes, I think Infused panicked a bit there when Emperor started getting aggressive onto
JRM
JRM.
got caught out. Had to use his
Yeah.
flash.
Had
and
to use flash and fly
Being the
out.
first to flash in a fight means you don't have anything to maneuver with for the
yeah.
rest of it. Even if you
Any
have Valkyrie,
escape recourse.
everyone can just catch up to you because of the CC that
Yeah.
Proto possesses.
I believe they should have just backed away because it was as it erupted, it was a 4v3, I believe. And then it seemed like it was going to go in favor of Infused at first because of their damage, but then it quickly became...
They got collapsed on.
Yes, and then JRM went back, actually, even though his teammates were already getting pretty low, which in my opinion was a big mistake. You could have minimized the casualties or minimized the resources that you give to your enemy. When he was already pretty low, should have just backed away.
But being in a position where where the best option is to just run away, it's not good for a composition like Infused. 'Cause if you're running
Yes.
away, that means you're giving more leads to your opponent, and that
And
just
this
shortens
is
the time limit you have.
exactly, and this is supposed to be where your composition shines, the point in time. But then again, we did mention already that in terms of team fights, Potu will have
So
more of an upper
the
hand.
upper hand later in the game. And as the more gold that Potu gets, the earlier late game comes.
Yeah.
And I keep saying that the time limit for Infused team composition becomes shorter and shorter. And every mistake that they make shaves off minutes, not just seconds, but minutes from that power that they have. If they even have it right now.
And it's pretty dangerous now because Potu has been really good at shoring up the resources onto Emperor. He really is their
6 and
Emperor.
1.
They're just offering everything to him. Here you go, Emperor. Take the kills.
I have never seen an Emperor like not Emperor Delusion, but Emperor like Azir just giving tribute to someone else.
It's a
Not
new
more
age.
friendly.
Oh,
Oh.
but a kill coming in very aggressively. BLC media player will go down, gets Emperor stuck in a difficult position, takes a turret hit, and now DXC from the side. Woo! Emperor almost dies, but instead DXC will take his place, and now a kill pushes back Torchic, and the Emperor's Divide will be used, and wow, Hans will die as well as a kill, and Jobim and Gertrude, and now Torchic. Oh, wow, he almost could have escaped, but no, Kindred did deal the finishing blow, and it will be a 4v3, 4 against 3 kill count in favor of Infused this time.
That was great by a kill, just fiercely flashing in, going for Emperor who got too close. But of course, the fight was very difficult. Potu was in the lead.
Yes.
And they already had a hard time with Jobim not there.
Yes, yes.
So their power is just really dwindling. That, of course, that is a small win.
But
for
it
them.
was actually, and also it was a bad position in the terms of some of them in Potu were actually taking turret hits.
Oh yeah, that's not
especially
something you want
Emperor. I mean, he was able to evade, but he did take 1 or 2 turret hits.
And ZXC just
And then ZXC just came in and
came
like,
in, but barely misses the kill.
but he was
Emperor.
like, yeah, but then Emperor was already 1 hit away from
So he
death.
had to move away from the fight.
So that was a
yeah,
shutdown.
that's a small win.
Although he
for
did get 2
Infused.
kills. That's an incredible feat considering he
This equalizes the gold actually, but you have to
Yes.
consider not just the value of the gold, but the value that you get from items onto the
yes, so the
champions of the
distribution
both
actually
teams.
of your resources.
So 8-2-2. However, on the other hand, JRM is 0-1-3. All of the kills of Infuse are concentrated onto their Kindred, which is Hachizo. And even though Kindred is very strong, you probably want to have those kills onto your mixed damage AD carry.
Yes, and it seems to be a trend so far today that instead of your
went to
ADC getting the resources, it's gonna be the Kindred.
And he went to 4!
And he went to bar just to annoy you.
Oh my
Probably.
god. He probably heard me. It's like, I hate this guy. Let's go
And
to
now
more.
Cocoon does land onto a kill, and Infused comes in here. They're now hot on the heels of. He will be the target instead, but Hans coming in to cover for their mid laner. Does get dev charge onto ZXC, but now here in the mid lane we have a 4v3 coming out here. A kill getting dangerously low, and now Emperor does get the kill. No, he does not, but instead 2 people have gone down from Infused, as well as chaos just ensuing here in the mid lane with fights in both sides, and now it will be 4 people dying on the side of Potu. So that's 4 for 1 in
That was a
favor of Infused.
Very well played by Infuse there. I was worried since Jobim just shifting sands into the enemy into Infuse, wanting to do the Azir insect. However, he does not get the opportunity. He has to back away, leaving the rest of his team to be picked up by Infuse.
Yes.
And this keeps Baron. Very ballsy play coming from Infuse, getting that Baron. Not very ballsy, it's pretty safe. But they are low on HP, and Baron deals a lot of AoE damage.
There's like no one to disrupt them at this point.
yeah, this shifts the
But it's
tempo.
alright, you know, if you're impressed, let you be impressed. Let thyself be impressed. So now they have a
Uh,
4K gold lead in
and
favor of
Dragon
Infuse.
tempo shifting back to Infused. It is that's also what you want to do with a pick comp.
What do you think went wrong there in that fight?
I think Javim just charging in and spending a lot of his spells, his soldier and his shifting sands just to attempt the insect, while the rest of Potu wasn't really on the
Oh
same
no,
page.
ZXC though coming in as well as Hechizo from the side. Now Potu is stuck in the dragon pit with no recourse as to where to escape. And now GRM just coming in right smack in the middle is gonna be stuck there and will die instead. Gertrude coming in a little bit too late, but still manages to make this a fight in favor of Infused. So that is a 3-4-2.
And the gold lead is now 4K onto Infuse. I said that they extended their time limit by a lot by winning these little skirmishes and team fights. And
Yes.
as a pick comp, I was
Now
trying
they
to say
have Baron
earlier,
buff.
now they have Baron buff, so this also gives them a lot of sieging and pushing power.
And confidence to contest objectives,
Confidence,
just
yes.
like we saw.
Wow, the tempo just shifted really hard in the
Though
blink
in my
of an
opinion,
eye.
it was actually kind of unnecessary for JRM to die. He did come in a little too early. Instead of Gertrude being the one right smack in the middle, it was actually JRM. And then when he went in, he just
Exploded.
virtually was stuck there and
Crash
took
and
all of
burn.
the took all of the aggression
Yeah.
from all 5 people of
You're not the
Potu
tank,
and
dude.
just dies. So now he's like 1-2, but yeah, he has a lot of assists, so 7 assists.
5K gold lead, no, 6K gold lead onto Infuse. When I was saying that your margin of error for a pick comp like this is small, the margin of error for the other team is also very small. You can't make a mistake against a pick comp, because if you make a misplay in terms of rotations and positioning, they will have to punish it. And it seems Infuse is the type of team that punishes these kinds of mistakes.
Yes.
So Potu will now
And
on
so
the back
far,
foot.
they're actually pulling off the team fights better than Potu.
Yeah, at this
Although
point.
some slight mistakes, but still very good so far.
They were at the back foot earlier, but because of that play from Akil earlier, getting them that small lead, I think that was like the little snowball that just kept rolling in favor for Infuse.
It's so cute. The little snowball
And
just
then it
rolling.
just rolls and turns
That's-
into a giant bull. Akil,
A kill for a kill. No, actually he has no kills, but that's alright.
11 assists. Kappa.
But interesting synergy though, like we're seeing here from the Infused with their team composition.
Baron buff has run out, but they will want to siege this. They have a lot of sieging power and wave clear. But of course, Potu has their own wave clear. They will have to back off from this. But that was a lot of value gained from
Well,
that
right now
Baron.
there isn't a lot of objectives to take. The jungle camps are basically all cleared right now. So I understand why Infused would try and push this and siege this instead. Look for a fight. After all, they are at 10K gold lead.
Well, they can force the tower dive if they have the Maokai and the Alistar. And the Alistar is the
Yes.
best target for that turret if you're diving.
Yes,
Because
exactly.
That ultimate just,
Exactly,
all that damage
exactly.
just gone.
But it looks like they're not so sure, especially since now they've sent JRM to the mid lane. They're probably
clearing
not that
waves.
committed into drawing this into a team fight.
Very slow right now. Earlier it was all action-packed, but it seems both teams have realized, well, Potu has realized, oh wait, this is the ball is in their hands right now. We'll have to wait in our base and wait for them to make a mistake.
Yes, exactly. So they will back away, though not without clearing some wards.
Putting down some vision just in
Yes.
case. So they will have to recall and buy items. That's important because that gold doesn't matter if you haven't backed.
Yes. You have to translate it into some
I want to
definite
know
advantages.
Emperor's build here. He's gone for, is that a Lord Dominic's regard?
Yes,
Yeah,
it is a Lord
regards.
Dominic's regard, a rapid fire cannon, and the quintessential Essence Reaver. Culling will be popped here in the top lane to scare away Gertrude.
Gertrude does not want to go. I believe he should, though.
I'm- Well, it looks like he's simply
Fearless.
keeping this minion wave pushed
Yes.
in the top lane to keep the pressure onto them, especially since both other lanes.
Yes, two
So
people
they're
on
just
him, on this.
choking out Potu, which in my opinion is the smarter, I guess, the wiser way to go about this, since you don't want to make mistakes or initiate a team fight that you're not sure you can win, because then you'd basically be giving the opportunity for Potu to actually come back in this game. And considering that we are close to entering late game already, if not already in late game, it might spell trouble for Infused.
It is the type of late game where the pick comp has taken the advantage, so this team fight comp will not be as effective as we predicted it to be. And I think part of that comes from the itemization of the AD carry for Potu. The Lord Dominic's regards. I don't think that the Last Whisper items are as good as they were before the rework of Armor Pen, because yes, you get a lot of value against targets with higher HP than you, and you also get a lot of Armor Pen.
Yes.
However, I don't think the value from that is enough to justify buying that item specifically for the 2 tanks. Because Infinity Edge is big damage, tons of damage for everyone, and that also feeds the critical hit chance of
Yes.
the Essence Reaver.
Yes.
So
of
he might be
course.
going for IE.
And you already
now, but
have
it's
like
late.
you have very optimal targets here on Infused's team. So you have that Ari, but never mind, she already has Zhonya's now. So that's
Oh,
gonna be a
man.
problem. And you have the GRM. So actually, if he did pick up, if Emperor did pick up an Infinity Edge earlier, those duels with JRM might have been more,
In favor.
yeah, definite,
Emperor.
like a
Yeah.
definite kill.
That's why I really don't like these Last Whisper items. I feel like they're underpowered for the value that they give. Riot, listen to me. Riot, if you're watching this.
Probably take that if it's already like level 18.
Yeah, like level 18, or if your team, if the other team has a lot of bruisers and tanks, like their AD carry is Graves and everyone else is a tank. That's when
Yeah.
you want to build those Last Whisper
I guess
items.
Emperor Potu is a bit wary of Gertrude and of Akil.
I'd be
Probably,
yeah.
you know, the tactics of Akil being very aggressive, you know, jumping onto them, not
Yeah,
jumping,
that's what you have observed.
rushing into them
Yeah, Kill just bull rushing, living
has
true to
given
the
them
champion.
some jitters.
You can't milk those.
Mess with the bull, you get the horns, but it looks like the tree will be spelling trouble instead in the bot lane. Although not so much. Hans
gonna be a
keeping
big
his
move,
cool. But now Infused rotating for Baron, possibly?
If ever both top laners can cancel each other's teleports, so it seems like they'll just want to keep slapping
Hack
each
at
other
each
harmlessly.
other. You know, these things are always funny for me when I watch pro games, and
Yeah,
then both
dude.
top laners are just whacking at each other,
I can
but
imagine
not
it
really.
like a hug lang sila instead of
Yeah.
actually hitting each other
It's
because there's
like-
no damage.
It's like when you know, wrestlers at some point just start hugging each other.
Boxers then too.
Ah yeah, boxers pala, sorry. Obvious na I'm not
Yeah.
into that, no.
But yeah, what happens with these fights between might go for a little Baron, but Emperor.
It's a bait! It's a
missed.
bait! Oh, and the flash, Emperor does manage to stay alive for that, and now Jobim is in trouble because Gertrude has just come in hot, and now Echizo does get that kill off of the Shuriman Emperor. That is not Lucian.
Just one death coming
And
from
now, yeah, one death.
Opens up
Infused,
Baron.
still of
Look at
course,
it.
with that huge advantage.
Look at that HP too.
Exactly. So they still have the advantage here, which means even with one kill, but oh no, VLC Media Player does manage to catch DXD along with a hook. But again, with that, Zhonya's will be able to keep her alive. They do get Baron, and this will probably help them in the next few moments because a kill does go down, and now Hans as well has joined them, as well as Emperor, and now Potu is just falling down like dominoes, and the rest of their teammates are really low. They will have to stay away from this one. I feel like a lot of that was because they weren't so sure about what they were gonna do,
Yeah.
if they were going to commit or not, and then Jobim just caught out by Gertrude.
Yeah, and that Emperor's Divide was not optimal because a few of the
Very
soldiers
much.
were up to the wall and not blocking the path. That's not where you want your
Yes.
soldiers to be. And
I think he panicked.
panic, yeah, and that's
Basically
not something
panicked.
you want to do. As a pro player, or as a player in general, you can't let these sudden attacks on your team phase you. And because-
Especially if you're royal. You
yeah,
can't
especially
just,
if
gotta keep
you're
it cool.
especially if someone with such huge potential for zone control with your Emperor's
Exactly.
Divide and your Sand Soldiers. Jobim Cutie.
He was in a bad position, and as well that is probably due to the shot calling or coordination on Po2's side. It seems as though they weren't exactly sure whether they would go in or where they would go in, whereas Infused was pretty sure about what they were doing.
Let's
Like
get this Baron.
half of their team was getting Baron, whereas Gertrude and a few others were locking down the enemy carry.
Gold lead is now 12.
I
That's
know.
huge.
And
That's what
that's
she
too
said.
much. I mean, they already got. I'm just not gonna grace that with a reply. But anyway, they already got the advantage from the mid lane, and now they're just using this to snowball. So, like I mentioned
Baron.
earlier, it's true. Once they do get that mid lane advantage, while it is true that they can't just take very risky plays, they do need to make sure they get a secure win. But now looks like a duel erupting in the bot lane here. See, this is why we push. This is why we asked for
man.
an IE.
Why'd you get a BT? I mean, of course the lifesteal is very useful, but lifesteal doesn't matter if you can't do damage to utilize it and survive.
Yeah, so
You're not attacked.
JRM did have the upper hand and gets that kill off
Gets a
of
lot of burst
Emperor.
damage from that point.
Man, that disrespect though.
That was a 10-6 Lucian against a 3-2.
Exactly. I think
Orky.
he got
Wow.
too overconfident.
Yeah, you cannot be overconfident.
I think he forgot that, majority of why he has those kills is because of his teammate, the really nice setups
for
from
his
their
nice
teammates.
teammate. Now, Poto might need to make a desperate play here.
Yes.
Now,
It is the late game, so death timers will be punishing. So if they manage to do it right in a team fight, hold off long enough to at least somewhat match them in terms of the item builds, and then get a good team fight, they can
Yes.
scrape for possibly reach up until inhibitor or nexus turrets.
And Dragon
not a win.
4 will be up, probably going to infuse because Poto
Yes,
is
they
busy
do have
defending their
control.
own base.
Uh-huh.
And I did say the Dragon would not be a problem in this game, but the game has dragged on long enough.
For Dragon to be
because
a
of
problem.
Infused's willpower that they can threaten the 5 Dragon win
exactly,
condition.
and considering that those are 6 dragons in total so far taken for the majority, for the whole game, for the entirety of the game, with 4 dragons going to Infused.
And each of them, each Dragon getting taken down almost as soon as they spawn.
Yeah, so
That's a lot
the
of decisive
objective taking though,
objective
yeah,
control.
beautiful in general from both teams. But yes, team fights so far.
In favor
Podu
for him.
not doing so well. They should work on making sure their carries don't get deleted before the team
Oh,
fight
man,
even
yeah.
happens.
That's why you have the
Or
Nautilus
at
in
least
Trundle, yeah.
if a teammate does get deleted, just back off and regain your composure before you start panic fighting.
Panicking. I think Sense also has something to say about the state of mind.
Yes.
Because war is all about the state of mind. And if your state of mind is not in the right place, if you're in
Oh,
right-
Cocoon does land onto Gertrude, but he's too tanky
but
for
that's
that.
Gertrude.
What's that gonna do?
Big tree, dude.
Oh no, it is a last-ditch effort here with Culling gonna be popped onto that minion wave to make sure it doesn't
Yes.
harm their turrets. And now Hook does land onto Hechizo, but it's not going to do that much because now he has the Stair Axe to keep him healthy.
Oh,
And ZXD coming in for a little poke. And
that
now,
BMTP.
wow, a teleport right in
Oh.
front of the turret.
That's not BMs to keep the minion wave
Yeah.
alive.
Yeah.
Yeah, all Infuse has to do is keep waiting for
And
the wave to
Gertrude
come
is
in.
now right here doing what he does best, getting all of the Potu onto an optimal position to get the damage on. And guys, ladies and gentlemen, it looks like this might be game though, but a turret does pop up from the Azir. Gertrude getting really, really low. Suddenly Infused is shifting their attention onto the Nexus
Wow.
because they know they can win it, and they do. So, ladies and gentlemen, congratulations to Infuse for winning the first game against Potu. All right.
Wow, that was so well played by Infused. And all my predictions were wrong, which reflects badly on me being an analyst.
Exactly, which one?
Yeah, like
right?
about Potu having much of an upper hand until Infused just
totally
shifts the tempo and
obliterated.
control to them.
Yeah.
That was so well played by Infused. Before they were like kind of not playing it as well as they should have.
Yes.
But then they like just stepped up their
Well,
game.
it was really good coming in from a lot of their teammates, especially ZXE, if you notice, did have good positioning throughout those fights compared to the enemy Azir.
Yes.
I mean, we didn't really see him shine apart from the laning phase, apart from, you know, being able to poke the Ahri out of lane, and as well as the Elise picks. Elise didn't really shine either. Her strength is always in getting those early game picks. Usually she gets first blood, especially in especially in LCS games across the board.
This win has a lot to do with Gertrude and Akil being such a good front line.
Yeah.
Akil especially, with those really fearless dives.
Both of them, actually.
Yeah.
And then when they do that, it seems as though Potu just loses their composure completely. And yeah, so there goes our game 1 between
match 2.
Profilers of the Unknown from Our Lady of Fatima University and Infused Esports. Who knows? Maybe
Yeah,
game
they might be
2 could
reversed
go. Yeah, exactly. If they
This is
manage
just a
to
best of
make their
3.
compositions work, who knows? And that is exactly why we are here, guys. So exciting games coming in for the Pro Gaming Series Promotionals. Make sure you stay tuned for game 2 coming right up after this break. Again, here with you now is, of course, me, Aika, and
Atlas.
all right, guys.
Not
See
Squirtle,
you
not Squirtle.
in the next game.
See you.
Coming in from DXD on the side, gets killed. Now Emperor running and getting really low, trying to, you know, free hit from the side. But wow, all of that damage coming in from Azir does get Emperor a kill off of Hechizo. And now even Gertrude is gonna just keeps coming in because, man, that Alistar was able to lock down Emperor for a kill that goes to Hechizo.
Emperor falls.
Instead, Emperor does pop, pulling right there. JRM gonna escape, and now here stuck in the river is Torchic. He does repel to safety, but now Ra is gonna take the brunt of the damage. It's 4 people against 3 here with Infused on the disadvantage, and now DXD coming in from the side as well as JRM.